Discovering strength through loss. The Stoic perspective, the unavoidable truth of life loss. The mere word itself carries weight, an invisible burden pressing upon the heart. It is a universal experience, something each of us will inevitably face, yet we are rarely prepared for it. Whether it is the passing of a loved one, the end of a meaningful relationship, the collapse of a dream, or the sudden loss of financial security, loss arrives like a storm, unexpected and merciless. It shakes the foundations of our existence, leaving us vulnerable, exposed, and often lost. But what if loss was not the enemy we have always feared? What if, instead of something to avoid at all costs, it was a gateway, a passage to something greater, something deeper? For centuries, Stoic philosophy has offered a unique perspective on loss, teaching us that rather than something to resist, it is something to embrace. Pain is not our downfall, it is our training ground. Suffering is not our enemy, it is our greatest teacher. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Loss is an outside event, one we cannot always control, but our response to it, that is within our power. That is where our freedom lies. This is the heart of Stoicism, learning to control our emotions, mastering our reactions, and finding strength where others only see despair. In this journey, we will explore how loss, when viewed through the lens of Stoic wisdom, can become a source of profound personal growth. Why we suffer from loss. At the core of all suffering lies one simple truth. We become attached to things that are, by nature, temporary. We fall in love with people, believing they will always be by our side. We build careers, assuming they will last forever. We accumulate possessions, convincing ourselves that they define who we are. But reality does not conform to our desires. Time moves forward. People change. Circumstances shift. The things we cling to eventually slip through our fingers, no matter how tightly we hold on. This is the paradox of human nature. We crave permanence in a world that is constantly changing. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest philosophers, wrote, "It is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself for difficult times. While fortune is bestowing favors on it is the time for it to be strengthened against her rebuffs." We suffer because we expect life to remain the same. We assume that the people we love will always be there. We believe that we are entitled to happiness, success, and comfort. And when reality shatters these illusions, we feel betrayed, as though life has been unfair to us. But life is not unfair. It is simply indifferent. The universe does not bend to our desires. It follows its own course, unmoved by our wishes. The sooner we accept this, the sooner we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. The Stoic response to loss, a path to resilience. 1. Acceptance. The key to inner peace. Acceptance is not about giving up. It is about letting go. It is about understanding that there are things we cannot control and making peace with that reality. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, taught, "Do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." Imagine standing in the middle of a vast ocean. The waves crash against you, pulling you in different directions. You have two choices: resist, fight the current, struggle against the waves, exhaust yourself trying to hold on to control that does not exist. Accept. Surrender to the movement of the water, flow with it instead of against it, and find peace in its rhythm. Life is the same. When we resist reality, we suffer. When we accept it, we find freedom. Negative visualization. Preparing for the inevitable. One of the most misunderstood Stoic exercises is negative visualization, the practice of imagining loss before it happens. At first, this might seem pessimistic, even morbid. Why would anyone want to think about losing the things they love? But the purpose of this exercise is not to create fear. It is to cultivate appreciation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now, take what's left and live it properly." By contemplating impermanence, we learn to appreciate what we have while we still have it. Instead of taking life for granted, we wake up each day with a deeper sense of gratitude. Instead of fearing loss, we prepare for it, so that when it comes, we are not broken by it. Imagine waking up every morning and reminding yourself, "This could be the last time I speak to my loved ones. This could be my last day in good health. This could be the last time I experience this moment." Instead of making you sad, this realization makes you present. You begin to cherish every interaction, every small joy, every fleeting moment. You stop assuming that you have forever, because you don't. And that is what makes life so precious. Turning pain into power loss feels like an ending, but it is often a new beginning in disguise. Some of the most remarkable individuals in history did not achieve greatness because they avoided hardship, but because they endured it. Adversity was not their downfall. It was their transformation. Abraham Lincoln suffered severe depression and multiple personal losses, yet became one of the most resilient leaders in history. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, found meaning in suffering and went on to write Man's Search for Meaning, inspiring millions. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, yet emerged not with hatred, but with wisdom and forgiveness. Hardship does not define us. Our response to it does. Every challenge, every setback, every heartbreak, these are not barriers. They are training grounds. Every loss is an invitation to grow stronger, to dig deeper, to rise above. Conclusion: becoming unbreakable loss is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Through Stoic wisdom, we learn that pain is temporary. Growth is permanent. Nothing lasts forever, but strength, once cultivated, remains. We do not control what happens to us, but we control how we respond. The next time you face loss, remember, this is not the end. This is your rebirth. And when the storm comes, and it will come, you will not break. You will stand tall. You will endure. Because you are stronger than you ever knew.